Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy!
On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, we go over Friday's market tank, Biden potentially visiting Saudi Arabia, inflation rates, and puts.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello, 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us. Pennies.
Going in Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity Dips, and Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going in Raw. Today is Sunday, June the 12th. We're recording this on Sunday morning, so the day it drops. And as we saw Friday, the market didn't handle. I mean, we saw you tweet that what we're about to see is a move big in one direction. Don't ask me which direction because I don't know. Well, we definitely saw it, and it was down. Can you kind of explain why that happened? Did that have something to do with a report of May's 8.6% raise in inflation, which happened to be the highest since 1981?
Yeah. So when we have this big consolidation move like we did for 6 to 7 days, there's always a big move after. That's just the way that works. They create liquidity for a few days, and then they create this big move. You know, it's really just most of the market comes down to simple supply and demand metrics. And this is one of those instances where, we 6 or 7 days, we had this real tight action. We didn't break out of the range once. And we tested both the high and the low both times. So it really like there was volume and we were creating that action. It just, we were just sitting inside that range. And the reason I tweeted, we're going to make a big move is because, a lot of people get antsy, especially traders. We get antsy so let me say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, like 7 days in a row of just straight consolidation. And the thing with traders is that we get really antsy when there's like no movement. We like liquidity, we like movement. And so it was kind of like a fair warning, like, hey, we're going to get this move. Just be patient. And like even the big move down, like I had said Friday, like I won't short here. And you don't short the honey hole. You don't short you don't follow the rabbit down the hole. Because that just gets you in trouble, and I stand by that. And so I said, when we were sitting at, I think it was like 395 or whatever, I said, even if they slow walk it down another 10 points today, I won't even care. And that's because if you look at the chart, we really dumped from 416 all the way down to 390 in the matter of a day or two. I mean, that chart is fucking ugly right now. However, they can snap that thing back up, and there's plenty of room to run north. Like I said, is that they just snap it back to 403, 404, and you're going to blow up any short inside the water. If you have puts, they'll be down 60% no matter how far out of the money you go. So that's why I said, listen, nothing, if I'm going short, it'll be nothing bigger than a lotto. However, again, of course they close it right at that last wick where we wicked last time, that we tested that low. on the daily. And so it'll be interesting. Now, hypothetically, we should, based on data, we should gap down on Monday, especially right now. Bitcoin, as we're recording this, Bitcoin is getting smoked pretty heavily. But again, if it's one of those things where I
thought Bitcoin was the hedge to the market, though.
Yeah, that's what we were told. But even if we gap down, it could be one of those situations where we gap down and 8:30 we start going on a run. And that's like the type of thing that can get scary, because then it's like, all right, well, what if we go from down 1% to only down 0.25% by open, and then they turn it green, and then they run a little more. Like this is how like the mind games, market makers, like they fuck you with the mind games. So that's why I said, listen, I'm gonna wait for a long. Personally, I have no interest in going short unless it's a situation where we retest at least like 400, and then let's just say we gap down and then we retest higher and then we get smoked again. That's something where I would go short again. However, I have no interest in really messing with it. I'll tell you, I have one. I kept one of my shorts. Okay, I have one June 13th SPX 3,810. So on SPY, that's 381. I have one contract left. It has $500 on it. I sold everything else, and every other short I sold, and I'm not looking to add to it. It's either that $500 is gonna make 50 grand, or I'm just gonna lose $500. And so yeah, that's pretty much because again, that consolidation really blows. I mean, for traders. And then it's like, we test that breakout zone. And I mean, the amount of people that I saw like, oh, we're going to test 420. We're going to test 420. We're going to test 420. And then it gets smoked. And again, like I saw people who like took puts overnight for CPI. Listen, if you had an edge, congratulations. I don't see how the hell you have an edge going into an inflation reading. I don't see how you have an edge unless you have access to data that nobody else does. It's quite literally 50-50. And Vegas is more fun, in my opinion, than taking puts or calls overnight on the CPI data.
Yeah, I'm holding some Amazon puts that we talked about on Wednesday.
Yeah,
they're only up 100% right now, so I did split them in two. What did we say on Wednesday? Well, regardless, I did buy $98 puts for middle of September, and that, like, because we mentioned them on the podcast, I'd like to throw some flyers just so we can see how right or wrong we were. And so I bought them 98 contract for September's 16th put, and sold it for 100%. Currently, the other half's up around 95%. However, like you, so the way I've been trading a lot recently, just buying some further out puts or calls, whichever it may be, and just taking the 20%, 40%, whatever it may be. So SPY, I buy one right around $1.08, or no, I think it was around $2.80 on Wednesday, and ended up selling it for a nice 40% gain at $3.46. It was a 402 put that closes next Friday. So this Friday coming up. Man, today it is worth $17, I believe. Oh no, $14.24. I saw a peak at around 17. So just missed the boat on the SPY puts. I was right before. But you didn't specify whether it was going to go up or down, so I did have to.
That's true. My crystal ball was out of commission this week. But that's exactly what I mean. Is that I had some puts, but it wasn't because I felt like after this range we were going to break down. Like that's not what it was. And like I said, we were trying to create edge inside this market. Well, any market. And if there's no edge to be found, then I don't want it. Like I don't want to take these low quality trades. Like one of the things like I keep trying to stress to like people inside my DMs and stuff is that like, listen, last year you could make 30 trades in a fucking day, and that and that was okay. Like you can make 30 trades and, everything was going up. So it was fine. Now it's last year it was literally like quantity over quality because it was a majority of the stocks were running. Now the game has shifted.
Good news made it go up 200%. Bad news made it go down 15%. The risk reward was there to be in every stock.
Exactly. So that was quantity over quantity over quality last year. This year's quality over quantity. Last week I took 5 trades. That's it. And I didn't even trade on Friday. So like these are the type of things where, like, listen, if it doesn't, that systematic strategy we always talk about, if it doesn't hit there, then don't take it, because the only thing worse than losing money, than not making money, is losing money.
Yeah, and there's definitely lots of ways to lose money in this market.
I
think that is for sure. So going on to, I guess, another little mini topic before we kind of dive into what we figure's going to happen this upcoming week, because there's going to be a lot of ways to play it. Because you got to think, so many people in the past few weeks have been, okay, well, it just had this crazy downturn. And so usually we'll just expect it to bounce right back up. But then you had the past 3 months where it was just all down, 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 down. Are we expected to kind of continue this downturn back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, where we may have to see that 350 or 330 range?
So this is what's really important, is this rate hike coming up on Wednesday. This is like arguably the most important hike, because what this signals is, where does the Fed align? So obviously, as we know, the Fed is like a third party. However, Powell and Biden had this meeting. And the thing is that Biden's main concern is to bring down inflation. Well, if Biden wants to bring down inflation, that means that the Fed has to get extremely aggressive. So I'm talking 7,500 basis points. Now, the Fed also, I don't want to say they have a duty to the stock market. However, the market can't go down 2.9% every day, for long.
Yeah.
Like that's a little concerning. So inside the same token, you raise 7,500 basis points, you're going to see the market kind of get smoked a little bit, and we'll be close to that 360 level pretty soon. Now, so this upcoming rate hike, now that we've seen that literally the Fed's aggressive, I don't even want to call it aggressive, but the Fed's plan for tightening is not working, they're going to have to get aggressive, which, obviously means that the market sees more downside. Or do we see the Fed kind of align with the market and ease up a little bit, because the market, again, down 2.9% on Friday. What was it on Thursday? Like 2%, like something like that. And so, we're back to being down 20% on the year. We go down another 15% from here. We're talking a pretty big correction. And 15% is like, again, 7,500 basis points. 15% is not like out of the question. In fact, that's probably like closer to my target. And all of a sudden now the market's down, 35%, and we're sitting. We're sitting closer to 300 than we were 500. And that's kind of crazy. So I think that this rate hike says a lot. Now, my gut says that Powell is going to raise 75 to 100, somewhere in there. I would be shocked to see 50. I would be shocked to see over 100. And so I think that we're going to see 75 to 100. But again, it depends. The 75 would indicate that that he's more aligned with the market. 100 would indicate that he's more concerned about inflation and bringing down the inflation numbers. But again, it goes back to what we talked about months ago about the train, about the Fed is considered like the conductor on a train, and the rate hikes are like the brakes. If you step on the brakes too hard while the train is traveling, you're going to derail it completely. But again, you still got to apply enough pressure so that the train slows down. Okay, the train is inflation, obviously. And that's one of the things that the Fed, that's their difficult job, is doing that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to note just on the market is that, we're still kind of holding this bigger range of 415 to like 380, 390. Now, most interesting thing is that the last day that was over 100 milli in volume, I'm talking on SPY, was that low day where we saw 380 and then a complete retracement to like 389. So, it'll be interesting to see how Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday play out, because again, this chart is ugly. We should gap down. However, if you guys pull up the 1 year, 1 day chart, and if you're driving, I'll explain it to you. It was basically like we had hit that 385 mark back May 12th. And for the next 4 days, we zoomed all the way up to 408. And the 408 candle on the yearly daily chart is beautiful. I mean, it is a big green hole candle closed at the highs, which would indicate a gap up. However, I didn't look back at whatever news it was. That next day, it got smoked, the market, and we were back to 391. So again, even though we've got this closing red candle that is super, it looks super ugly. And to me, like in typical stances, I would say that we probably open around 383 based on this candle. However, we do need like kind of some sideways action. So I wouldn't be shocked if going into the rate hike for the next 2 to 3 days, we see more of that sideways action. And again, what's going to be the coincidence? The coincidence is going to be that they're going to close it and they're going to chop it right at that support zone. So like, it's like, again, another high risk, high reward situation. If you're on the right side of the rate hike, yeah, you're going to make a killing. If you're on the wrong side, your options are going to go to zero almost instantly. So that's what's going to be important coming up to this week. And again, I think Vegas is more fun, going on red or black than trying to guess what Powell's going to do for his rate hike. I would size down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and just let it do its thing. There will be opportunities, but you don't want to be on the wrong side of this. Like I said, is that I believe that Powell will probably raise 100 75 basis points, and the market, will see further downside. However, like I said, I have $500. That's my bet. Like $500. Like I have one SPX book that expires tomorrow. And so that's going to be the biggest thing. So I wouldn't get too overly biased. I wouldn't get crazy size, and just kind of relax. If anything, go take a trip or something. Go to the beach for a few days. Because leading up to the rate hike talk is going to be, I think that's just going to be a lot of noise and a lot of liquidity, creating liquidity for the next move, whichever direction that is. Again, no fucking clue.
All right. Well, as we were mentioning, inflation, 8.6%, highest in 1 month since 1981. I don't remember exactly how bad the economy was in 1981. It's a little blur. But with that, there is gas prices above $10 in California, like we'd mentioned. And with that, Joe Biden mentioned that he potentially will visit Saudi Arabia. He said at first he wouldn't do it due to a moral issue. He's not going to sacrifice his morals for gas prices, but I guess when it hits $10, we got to sacrifice our morals for something. Do you kind of know like the history of the dude he's meeting up with? Mohammed bin Salman?
So they're big business guys over there.
For sure.
Like that's what they care about.
Yeah. So the thing that I thought was interesting about this is because the reason he's saying morals is because I think it was 2020. Well, a few years before that, there was a journalist, I believe his name was Khashoggi, is how you pronounce it. And over there, they're not the biggest fans of free speech. And he was saying not the best things about the Saudi prince and his family. And basically, big thing you can't fucking do there. They'll kill you, they'll kill your family, put you in a camp, nothing good happens. So he fled to America, where he kept putting out this negative propaganda or whatever you want to call it about the crown prince. And you know where he was doing this through? The Washington Post, which is owned by Jeff Bezos. Okay.
Good old Bezos.
Good old Bezos. So our guy, Khashoggi, the journalist, he wanted to get married to his wife. He had to go to an embassy overseas, just go for a quick visit, get this paperwork. And then once he gets paperwork, he's out of there, back to America, back to safety. He goes, he never gets out of there. There's footage. If you guys look it up, you can tell like they make it as legit as possible to make it look like this guy left this place, but we don't know what happened to him. Long story short, he died, and it was basically proven that it was the crown prince, and not something we can really be very cool about with someone just killing a journalist who had moved to America. And since he was posting it all through the Washington Post, he was like, fuck, we got to get Bezos back too. But he can't just murder Jeff Bezos. It's a little more difficult, per se. So what'd he do? He hacked his cell phone, which if he can hack one of the most wealthy men in the world cell phone, that's kind of spooky. Hacked his cell phone and released his nudes and all the text messages with his ex-wife. With his mistress, which led to the divorce of his ex-wife. So that was his way of getting back at Jeff Bezos. And now our boy Biden's going to go visit him for oil prices. I wonder if this will cause like a rift between Bezos and Biden. I don't know their friendship, but I wouldn't want one of my, like if you were going to someone's house that had just leaked my dick pics and me cheating on my girl to the world, like I'd be a little pissed off at you.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I'll say this. And this is the other thing is that, Bezos was somewhat of a fan of Biden. When Biden was elected, Bezos and Trump kind of didn't hit it off. And when Biden was elected, Bezos said, and I quote, that this victory signifies that, quote, unity, empathy, and decency are not characteristics of a bygone era. That's kind of insane that was quoted, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Unity, empathy, and decency. And now Biden's going to go meet the dude that, lost him, what, 150 billion?
Yeah. He wanted.
And again, Bezos did it to himself, of course. Bezos did it to himself. However, it's one of those things where it's like
he said he wasn't going to get blackmailed. He was like, I'd rather, which is good dope on his part, just posting it instead of getting blackmailed.
Yeah.
But even like the journalist's wife is like, yeah, this is fucked up, Joe Biden. Like, no one's cool with this.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of crazy because again, it seems like Bezos wasn't supportive of him. I think it would be, politics is really ugly. So in my opinion, if Bezos, was not a fan of Biden to begin with, I think it'd be like Biden would just shrug it off. But the fact that again, Bezos posted on Instagram, had talked about character and unity and decency. I think that's kind of crazy, about what we're seeing. Now, the other thing is that if you look into like realistically, what is Biden going to say over there? What can he say?
So I think, what a lot of people are saying is Biden going over there basically lets MBS, which is the acronym for Mohammed bin Salman, getting away, is basically saying, hey, what you did was cool. You killing that journalist for your lack of free speech is dope. That's fine. And you hacking Jeff Bezos, we'll just slide that one under the rug, which I guess already has gotten slid under the rug to some extent. Yeah. But, I think that's the main issue that a lot of people are having.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that's what I'm saying though, is that not only I'm just personally curious what exactly Biden wants to accomplish. Yeah.
I guess, but the thing is, he's been a dick to MBS for a while, saying like, "Hey, you know, I value my morals over even talking to this man. If he goes over there, maybe that's just enough for him." I mean, shit, they probably have enough oil. They can be like, "Hey, if you're nice to me, we'll give you $8 oil instead of 10." You know, I don't think it really has to be crazy negotiation.
Yeah, well, see,
But
so
then
so
again, I've never
basically-
made too many oil deals, so I could also be fucking wrong.
Well, see, like I understand that, like, you know, Biden, the U.S. had hoped that, you know, SA would like basically boost their oil production. But here's the thing, though, is that like it's not like MBS was like, "Hey, you know, you come over here and we're all good." He said, and quote, MBS has said he doesn't care what Biden thinks of him, and reportedly shouted at U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan in September when the latter raised the 2018 murder of Jamal. Sorry, I'm gonna mess up his name. Yeah, Khashoggi, which the CIA concluded that MBS likely ordered. And so it's kind of like we just kind of like recently, like again, like all this is pretty recent. This relationship went south pretty fast, and then it continued to go further south. And now it's like, you know, we want them to up their oil production. And I'm just like a little confused on what exactly, like, does Biden think that if he goes over there and talks to him, like he'll boost oil production? Also, how's that going to go over with voters? Obviously, we have midterms coming up. Like, I'm just a little confused with what exactly
I feel like
is the end goal.
From a voting perspective, you got to think like the average American probably has no idea about MBS, Khashoggi, or too much about foreign policy, and would.
Yeah,
but they know damn well every time they pass the Chevron or Walmart that gas is expensive as shit.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, so that's where it comes back to what we just, you know, with the rate hikes, you know, like who are we going to really, you know, who's Powell going to side with, the stock market or inflation? But yeah, I don't know. And also like MBS doesn't really feel like the type of guy who's like, you're like, you know, I don't know. Just everything that I've read about him. And again, it's not very extensive, but you know, it doesn't exactly seem like he's like it seems like he holds grudges, clearly holds grudges. So it doesn't really feel like he's like the type to be like, "Oh, you have high oil prices, I will help you with that." You know, I mean, he hasn't helped us yet, you know, so I don't understand. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
It's like a double-edged sword, like with inflation. He's like, can we hide inflation by just going to the Saudis and maybe getting cheaper oil, you know?
Yeah, but here's the other thing, though, is that like MBS has declined Biden's phone calls. Like,
all right, well then, dude, he's gonna start having to talk to Elon Musk, start putting some Teslas on that bitch, because, I mean, if it gets, dude, it's like I had to pay $100 to fill up a mini SUV yesterday. Like, dude, and this is in Texas, so I could not imagine being like the average guy with a 2012 Tahoe that may live in California, just racking up 180. Mine's the Prince of regular $160, $175 gas.
Yeah,
like tank. That's insane.
No, you're spot on. I just like, you know, listen, if I don't pick up someone's phone call, like I'm not gonna want to see them in person personally, and I'm sure as hell not gonna do them a favor, a massive favor.
Yeah, but hey, I think for the elite, just being seen together is a pretty big one. I mean, in fucking. Anytime someone supports Elon Musk, you see a response of him and Jeffrey Epstein hanging out.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Okay. And last thing, I just found this quote recently, like right now, as we're talking about this, from CNN. Biden said, "I'm not going to change my views on human rights. But as the president of the United States, my job is to bring peace if I can. Is to bring peace if I can. Peace if I can. And that's what I'm going to try to do." End quote. Interesting. I don't know. I'll be interested to see. However, I'll tell you what, I didn't drive for 2 years. And then like literally I started driving in February. You know, and wow. I'll tell you what, man. I mean, like I'm feeling it. And I don't drive like ever, really.
Yeah, no, it's like it went from something like you go, you know, like back in the day, like go and you put like, hey, like, can I get 5 on 3? Like, yo, can I get 10 on the whiteboard escape? Yeah, in that corner.
And that would get you good for like the week, you know?
You're at least getting fucking home.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's like $60. I'm like, I don't even have I got like a little car.
Dude,
oh man.
Dude,
no. And just the last thing, real quick. Oil's sustaining over this like 110, honestly over 100. Oil sustaining up here is terrible for the market. I know that we have bigger fish to fry. However, Monday morning, if oil continues to spike and we're sitting at like 130, I probably won't even trade because I won't want to short the market. However, I'm not going long when oil's above 130. There's just no shot. There's just no shot.
You go get an oil exchange, the express pass is like fucking $722.
Yeah, this $70 synthetic oil is now like yeah. But yeah, so pretty much like I said, if you're going into this week, I've been posting most of my levels on Twitter recently. I saw like some of you guys doing good with them. I'll continue to post them. But the main thing is going to be don't create edge, because we all can create edge inside of our own head. Wait for the edge to set up, wait for the play to set up. Take the play with smaller size Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. When we get a trend back in the market, whether that's up or down, which in my opinion will come soon, and my bias is down. But again, I'm not putting any money there. Like if I had like 30% of my account in July puts, be a different story. However, like I said, is that wait for the plays to show themselves. Go smaller size until we're through the rate hike. And then do it like that. Just make lunch money right now. Keep the lights on. That's what this is about. Because if you take one big loss that wipes out the past 2 weeks, you do that enough times, one, you're going to blow up. And two, the mental strain that you're going to take is ridiculous. I've been here 9 fucking years now. Not seriously for 9 years.
He went through puberty in the stock market.
But it's been a long time. And I'm telling you, I've been through like those mental am I saying that right? Fortitudes?
Or there's an I in there and another T.
Fortitude. I don't know. You know they were. I'm just saying, I've been through like all that. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Like it's not worth it. Like you'll lose sleep. You'll be a bitch to everybody that you meet. Somebody will be inside the crosswalk. You'll want to run them over respectfully, of course. And so just don't do that to yourself. I'm telling you, if you don't trade, and again, ideally you had that 6 to 12 months of that rainy day fund, consider it like you're laid off. If you're not good with trading volatility, then don't trade volatility. Just take the year off, because guess what? Take the year off, go work at Trader Joe's. Just get by, because there will be times when the market comes back and you have those trends and you're able to scale that systematic strategy, you're going to be able to kill it. And you're going to be able to make 4 years. Yeah.
That's why we kept saying like that 2020 and that 2021 is the time to like build your account up on this easy market that wasn't real. And then for that 12-month, when you say rainy day fund or savings fund, that's so you don't have to work at Trader Joe's while the trading's going on. Sit back and watch. Enjoy it. You've earned it. You got lucky. You took advantage of the fucking dope opportunity. Now chill, watch, wait for a good opportunity to come back. You know?
Exactly. Respect your money. Do not throw that hard-earned money away. And
it's like with lottery winners. How many, like the percentage of lottery winners who end up like either offing themselves or losing everything, like more lottery winners go bankrupt, like whatever it may be. It's looking like it's the same with the stock market. Everyone that made shit tons in 2020 and 2021 end up really going through it now.
Exactly. And here's the thing, okay? Like I said, is that right now everything's pointing towards the market going lower. I mean, Bitcoin's testing like 27,000 or something. So yesterday it went underneath or what was this? Or like Bitcoin's testing like 28,000. You know, it's already 28,000. You know, so Bitcoin's down. You know, the oil's running rampant. You know, inflation's at all-time highs. You know, the markets.
Your kids can't eat.
Yeah, literally, like the market's down like 1% to 2% like every day. But don't let that bias, because the day that they snap it back up, or the Fed says something, you know, bullish, it's fucking over. Everybody's gonna get smoked. So take your wins, take your gains. Listen, Dan and I, we have a strategy, okay? If that strategy isn't met, so let's just say you have a criteria of 5 things. If all 5 things aren't met, we don't take the trade. And so that's why if I take 5 trades a week, that's okay. If I take 3, that's okay. Just keep the lights on and just wait, because the opportunity will present themselves. And that's it. I think that's all I got for it.
And if y'all want, I know Hugh mentioned he was going over his levels on Twitter, and he posts them just about every day. If y'all want, leave a message in the replies. If y'all want, maybe the next episode for Wednesday, he can go over how he makes them, or we can make them, you know, the episode Tuesday after hours, maybe try and get it out early and kind of give an explanation of how he comes up with these levels. And yeah, maybe that'll help too. So let us know if you guys want that, and we'll see you all Wednesday. Peace.
Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.